Hello and welcome to apparently Radio 4. No, PR in a Car. This is episode 4 and I am Rich Leigh. I run Radioactive PR and the Radioactive Group. I want to talk about client retention today. Something people don't typically talk about, and not just client retention actually, winning new business, losing business. Something we don't chat about. I've read as much as I can get my hands on. I've watched and listened to as much as I can. And as far as I can see in the industry, in marketing in general, we don't talk too much about client retention, despite the fact that as an industry, especially on service agency side, client retention can be a thorny issue. Because whether there's more supply than there is demand is debatable, but there's certainly a lot of supply. There's certainly thousands and thousands of agencies. I think I once read that there were some 4,000 or 5,000 PR agencies in the UK. I don't know what that counts, whether that's counting your kind of smaller boutique agencies, all the way up. Who knows? But either way, there are loads of us. At this time of the year, clients are thinking about their plans. Typically, there are a couple of times throughout the year that happens. Around tax, end of tax year, I see a definite increase in the number of potential leads and the number of clients that want a chat. And it happens around Christmas time too. Christmas time, New Year. This year is no different. It's exactly the same. We've had clients that, as we led towards the end of 2019 even, wanted to have a conversation about strategy, about what we're doing moving forward. Okay, that's been great. Can we do more in these areas? We've had clients that have said, hey, do you know what? We think we can be doing better, and I'd agree. So let's actually take a step back and reevaluate what we're doing, why we're doing it. And you have new clients or potential clients come in that say, right, we're ready to go for next year. Very often they leave it until kind of the 15th of December, which is lovely, as we all know. Things start to kind of wind down. But I will never say no to a lead. And of course you have the ones that say, you're no longer part of our thinking. We've just had an experience as an agency where one of our longest standing clients, and somebody I was really proud to work with, and we've done some phenomenal work with, I got a WhatsApp message that said, hey, you free for a call? Now, as the agency's grown, of course I'm typically not the person that that does anything on a day-to-day or even week-to-week basis for clients. I'm understandably, I'd imagine, or I'd hope, more part of the strategic like the strategic side of things. Can't even say the bloody word, so apparently I'm not strategic. I can say the word. So it's rare that happens. So of course I think one of two things: either something fantastic has happened and they want to call me for some reason, or they want one of those chats. And it was one of those chats, but it was done in exactly the right way. We've worked with you for a long time. Things are phenomenal. We're growing massively. We've brought a new marketing director in. Always something that causes me to take a step back and evaluate. Brought a new marketing director in. They want to build our in-house team out as we internationalise. And what that means is not working with you. And that happens. And this client then emailed to kind of confirm, and it's just the loveliest email. I read it out to the team because it was incredibly kind, but more than kind, because it's a profession. We're there to do a job. It said things that PR people don't often hear, I think, which is, you've been transformative to our business. You're one of the reasons why we're in this position, which is a double-edged sword, I guess. We've absolutely loved working with you. You've been, communicative. You've been creative. You've been on it. You've been, all the things you need from an agency over the last getting on for 4 years. But this is where we are, and it's gutting. It really is, especially when it's a client you really like working with. But more so because there's nothing we could have done. And if that doesn't exemplify running an agency, then I don't know what does. There will be, and agencies would be lying if they said otherwise, there will be times you could have done better. There'll be times where you didn't spot something you should have spotted, or you didn't ask a question you should have asked. It would have improved things. Anybody that says that they don't have a kind of succession of both happy and unhappy clients is probably not been doing it for very long. I've been doing, as I think I've said in one or two of the others, 12 years now. I've kind of seen, not it all, I'm sure, but I've seen a lot of what goes on. You've seen the ecstatic clients, the ones that stay. You've seen the ones that burn brightly and fizzle out quickly. You've seen the ones that are just, what I called in my book, A clients. They're the ones that pay on time, that fully trust you, that respect what you do, that listen, that communicate well, that respond quickly, that understand that reactive opportunities need to be kind of jumped on immediately. You get those clients, and they're an absolute dream, and they're the ones that tend to stay with you. And actually, probably this client that I was discussing just then, they absolutely fit into that. And then, as I say, you get the ones where you should have spotted something sooner.
I had another one of those situations as well, where I probably didn't
have the conversation I should have had sooner, and what it's done is it's put a pause on PR activity while we kind of regroup, reassess, and they've been kind enough basically to say, we love working with you, but let's reassess what's important for us now versus what was important for us when we started working together a good few years ago. Hopefully the structure that we are implementing is going to help us get there. So what that brings with it is degrees of uncertainty, but running an agency or a service business of any kind, or actually a business of any kind, it's a roller coaster. As long as the general, as Chandler's boss in Friends says, as long as the line generally points up, then you're happy. When all's said and done. And also, what it does is it means that you not necessarily look more for new business or other opportunities, but obviously you're certainly aware that you can't be plugging gaps. You need to be thinking longer term. 2, 3, 5 years, not 2, 3, 5 months. And that's where we're at. It's a really exciting place to be, because the leads that we get in now are only bigger and better. I think people have a definite idea of what we can do, and also what we can't do. We're not a technical SEO agency, for instance, so anybody that needs or wants that, there are far better people out there. What I mean by that is the on-site, the architectural side of things. That's not us. What we're good at is coverage, is links, is launches, product PR. So it's understanding the opportunity can be a little bit scary. It can be, oh God, we've potentially got this going out the door. What's coming in? And what that needs is leadership, because I'm very transparent with the team in terms of
what's coming in, what's going out.
If you have too many of those, okay, this client for whatever reason is a project, they're not coming on retained, or they're just going to come back to us in a year's time. This client is rethinking, and they're taking it in-house. This client over here, they just don't see, they don't want to spend the money on this, they'd sooner spend it over there on paid social or whatever it is. Hence me looking at bringing in different companies into the group, or starting different companies in the group. Radioactive Social will follow Radioactive Talent in the next, I would guess, I'm only beholden to myself, so there's no harm in saying this, but 3 to 6 months. So hopefully we can, if there is a shift in budget, we can push it over to a different part of the company or a different part of the group. But if you have too many of those, then you've got a team to think about. You've got a team's happiness to think about. A team's what do you think about when you are in a growing agency? When you think about your own development, you think about your own place in it, you think about opportunities, lateral opportunities potentially in that group as it builds. And that's what, to me, bearing in mind I make this up as I go along, that to me is leadership, is being honest about where you're at.
But also honest about where you're going, and direct about where you're going and why. And for us, it's
a really clear pathway to what I want, which is to be an agency that delivers against all client budget lines, or majority that that kind of excite me.
I think we can be a top 100 global agency. That's across the board.
The Homes Report have their rankings within the next 5 to 10 years, and I need to really look at it. There's no reason why we as a group can't be doing 15 million plus, which is roughly thereabouts what you need to be, a year. Absolutely no reason at all. And that's, it's not about size, it's not about earnings, it's about the kind of business that comes your way at that point, the kind of problems you'll solve for clients, the kind of creative briefs you'll get, the kind of fun you can have, and the security that comes with that, and the room to play is something that I'm excited about. So that there as an agency is where we're going. I'm really kind of direct with the team. So now I've got that in place and I've got that solidly in my head. That might mean 50 people. It might mean 200.
It doesn't matter how many people it is, as many people as it takes to get the job done, because again, on Radioactive Talent,
which is kind of affiliate marketing, performance led marketing that we started it maybe 4 or 5 months ago. You've got me and one main other person on it, and the potential there is enormous. Again, I think within 3 to 6 months we'll be making on that what we're making on the PR, and then we might have to hire. So you can quickly see how scalability is different in different aspects of marketing. So we've got a clear plan. We know where we're going. When a client leaves or when you don't necessarily win that pitch, people understand, okay, but we know where we're going. We've got our new head of client services. We've got somebody stepping up to kind of take her place. We've got head of new business. We've got client creative specialists coming in. All these things in place on the PR side that are only going to make our jobs easier and more obvious almost. So am I changing the light bulbs? Am I cleaning the toilets as I have done? Am I, and rightly so and happily so, but is it the best use of my time now? Probably not. So we've all got clear aims, objectives, understanding of our role and responsibilities, and I think that's gonna really point us in the right direction. Things are incredibly exciting, because this is the time where people are considering what they're doing for the next year, and this is when you win clients. Obviously you win clients throughout the year, but this is when I've typically found or traditionally found there's more to be won. Do subscribe on YouTube. It's nice and easy, and you'll get a notification every time I post. Do subscribe on wherever you get your podcasts. I'm using Anchor to kind of distribute, so there are a handful of places that you can find the podcast. So Spotify and others are there. If you prefer an audio version. And thank you very much for listening, watching, supporting, sending me messages. We're into episode 4, as I say. These things can quickly die a death, and maybe it is, as I said in the beginning, the very first episode, a stupid idea, but whatever it's doing, it's helping me collect my thoughts, and do you know what? Maybe it might help 1 or 2 of you as well. So I'm going to keep doing it. I should probably do it more regularly, so there's an expectation. I'm enjoying it. It's kind of a test bed for me to learn how to do this, to learn how to do audio and video podcasts, because it's not something I knew that much about, and I can see us doing loads more. And I hope you and your business, your team, even if you're just thinking about starting an agency or a business, I hope you have a great year. Have a good one.